little loop practice. We all know that we're different than computers. The wonderful thing about being humans is that we can problem solve and reason and logically come to a challenge and think our way through it. Computers, on the other hand, they have to have the code that tells them exactly what to do when they meet an obstacle. They have to have the code that tells them exactly what to do to run and to operate. However, as awesome as it is that we can problem solve, the cool thing about computers is they can do a loop or repeat an action over and over and over and over again. And no matter how many times they do it, they'll do it perfectly every single time. Unlike us humans, repetitive action isn't exactly fun. We don't do it perfectly identical every single time. In fact, let's take this practice right now. Grab a pencil and a piece of paper. You can push pause if you need to run and go get it. And then what I'd like you to do is draw 10 identical circles on that paper. See if you can do that. Create that loop for yourself. You're the computer running the code, and the code is draw 10 identical circles. You can pause again to try it out. Were you able to do it? I sure wasn't. Look at my example on the screen. I couldn't create my 10 perfect circles as hard as I tried. Some were smaller, some were bigger. Even the ones that are exact same size, they have wiggle marks or indents at different places in the circle. Not one single one of these circles is identically the same. But if a computer was to do it, it would be an identical circle every single time, even if you programmed it to create that loop 100 times over. The 100th circle would look exactly the same as the very first circle that it did. That's a loop in computer programming. Now in Blockly, it might look something like this. You might have to run a code like move forward, and you want the block to move forward 3, 5, 10 times. So in your sequence, you could drag and drop, move forward 10 times into that algorithm, your sequence. Remember what an algorithm is, the process or the set of rules to be followed. You could drag that over 5, 10, 100 times, or what's even better is you can use a loop. In Blockly, that's the pink repeat block. You simply drag over your pink repeat block and then bring in the block that you want to be repeated over and over again. In this example, you see that says repeat until goal. So the computer is going to run that action until it gets to the goal that it desires to achieve. That's a loop. Many of the puzzles you program this week will contain loops. In fact, this week we are focusing on that repetitive programming, that loop. And so when you see that in Blockly, you'll get your pink repeat block and you'll simply drag over the block that contains the action that you want to be repeated. And then some of your loop blocks will actually let you change the amount of times that that action is being repeated. So you can change that number in your loop block. Now let's talk about conditionals. Conditionals are when you want the computer to do something, but a certain condition has to present itself first. For example, your character's walking down a path, but then it gets to a hallway where the character could turn right or left, and you want the character to turn right. You're going to provide the condition where it says, if path opens to the right, and then inside that conditional block, you'll put in their character turns to the right. So a conditional is when the conditional presents itself. If that condition is presented, then the computer runs that program. Or else it just continues doing what it was already doing. So let's do a little conditional practice right now. So I've got a deck of cards. I'm going to hold up a card. If that card is the queen, Q for queen, then you're going to jump up, shout, and celebrate. Or else you're just going to simply slump and groan. So your condition is looking for the queen card. Let's give it a try. Here we have a 6. Oh, that's right. You needed to slump and groan because you didn't get the condition you're looking for. Remember, your condition is the queen card. Let's take a look again. You're the computer. I'm the programmer, and I've programmed you to understand that if you see a queen card, you jump up, shout, and get excited. or else you simply slump and groan. So let's try it again. It's the 9 card. Oh, that's right, slump and groan because you didn't get the condition you were looking for. One more time, reset. You're the computer, I'm the programmer, and I'm programming you to look for the Queen card. Let's take a look. Did you get it? You did! So are you jumping out of your seat? I sure hope so. That's an example of conditionals. You as the computer programmer are programming the computer to look for a specific condition. Let's see what that looks like in Blockly.